Hello, everyone, once again. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness and another album review. Before I get to that, however, a quick reminder the fundraiser continues. For those of you new to my channel or unaware, I am a disabled individual, and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day, every day for my independence, and I need your help. My insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter, as they view it as a quote luxury item, end quote. Despite the fact that I am unable to walk whatsoever, in addition to being unable to use any other type of a powered chair or a standard wheelchair for that matter, as I only have limited use of one hand. Additionally, I do not have a backup scooter or wheelchair, so if this malfunctions as it recently did, I will be a fish out of the water yet again, a scenario I want to avoid at any cost. Therefore, below the title of this video, in the description, as well as in a separate section below that, I have a spot fund link. Any and all contributions are welcome. Even $5 or $10 helps. Everything adds up over time, and I am endeavoring to raise the funds necessary to continue the ongoing refurbishing of my existing scooter, in addition to being able to potentially purchasing a new scooter as well as a backup because I need one, and it's become blatantly obvious. A few weeks ago, I was in a situation where my scooter had stopped working. It was inoperative for roughly 2 weeks plus, and I had to have my family and friends push me around my own home. And it was an extremely traumatizing experience. It was demeaning to me personally on a psychological level, and I'm still recovering from all that. So, hence the reason it's imperative that I reach the target goal of the fundraiser. And I'm far from reaching that target goal. So, please do whatever you can in the fundraiser. I would really appreciate it. I do want to extend the gracious thanks to those who have contributed thus far, in addition to those who plan on contributing, as your contributions have and will make a world of difference in my life. Thank you all. I love you all. On with this album review. So, yesterday on September 20th, 2024, we saw the release of Nightwish Yesterwynde, as it's been pronounced, and this is the album I'm going to be reviewing. I did a reaction yesterday to Lantern Light, the newest single from the album, and here is my album review. Um, so I'm going to go through each track. I've made notes with each track in my Word document so I can give you guys my individual thoughts on the individual tracks. And once I'm done with going through the tracks, I will then give you my overall take on the album as a whole. So we start the album out with Yesterwynde, and it is a beautiful intro with really ethereal vocals, um, and it really sets the tone for the album itself, in my humble opinion. And it's brief. It's maybe 2 minutes long, if that. It's the shortest piece on the album, I believe. We then move along to track two, and that is titled An Ocean of Strange Islands. And this track was also a single, and I did do a reaction to this, and I will say that it is a good song. Um, it has excellent guitar work, something that I was able to appreciate more in the context of the album itself as opposed to the single and the video. Um, Also has some excellent keyboards, um, and uh, the um, the only thing I could say is that the orchestral sections also work well. Um, there is a laugh that is present in the lyrical section toward the beginning of the track itself that I could do without. Um, that's a minor gripe. I can actually appreciate the lyrics and the arrangement more to this song, though, in the context of the album, as stated. I had some gripes with it as a single, but on the album itself, in the context of the album, I think it works perfectly. Um, we then move on to track 3. And I'm going to do my best to pronounce this. The an, anic, the Anakatra machine. I'll put it below here. Um, and it really has a great groove going throughout that track. We then move on to track 4, which is The Days of, and that is another one I believe I covered. It has a nice arrangement. I do not like the children's choir section. I made that clear in my video reaction to the single itself, but I still don't like that aspect. However, the lyrics are excellent, so that kind of makes up for that aspect, in my opinion, from my perspective. I know the choirs are indicative of Nightwish, so that is something that I just didn't like in this particular track. Um, then we have track 5, which I also did a reaction to, The Perfume of the Timeless, and this song has really grown on me since initially doing my reaction to it. I like it a lot. It's a great song. A little too much going on overall in the mix. There's a lot being thrown at you, orchestrally, instrumentally, in general, I should say. And with the vocals and the backing vocals, it's just a lot coming at you. But it is a great song, so I can't really complain too much. Um, Track 6 is Sway, which is as a nice folk duet, and that sort of swells in the midsection to this tribal beat, if for lack of better words, and it really works well for that song. It's a great song. Track 7 is, and this is another one I'll put below because I'm going to mangle this title, but The Children of Atta, I believe it's called. And this has great keyboards, great vocals, and great lyrics. Those are my notes, and I stand by that. Um, Track 8 is Something Whispered, Follow Me, great lyrics, great vocals, great guitar, um, and it has an overall simple arrangement in contrast to what else has come before it. And it really kind of is a nice uh, change of pace in the context of the album. Track 9 is Spider Silk, um, and has a nice piano intro, which moves into a very solid metal song, um, and it ends off with a similar complimentary piano outro. Um, Track 10 is Harath. I'll put the title below. Um, Great guitar intro. Um, it's a nice duet, and uh, has a very classic feel to it. Very classic um, Nightwish feel, I should say. We then have um, The Weave, which is just intense. Just completely intense. And uh, it's the perfect Nightwish song, in my opinion, amongst this whole album. Um, and the album ends off with the most recent single, which I covered yesterday, Lantern Light, track 12. And Lantern Light is a really nice piece. I think that this album, being as bombastic in nature as it was, that it could have benefited from a more grandiose ending. Um, However, it also, uh, I think, would have been something that would have been expected in that aspect. And by ending off with Lantern Light as it is, it sort of takes you out of the album the way you're brought into it in a quiet, somber sort of way. And it ends on that. Now, lyrically, this album is really intense. There's a lot of themes going on throughout the album itself with regard to humanity, mortality, time, amongst other topics. And it really covers a lot of ground. With that being said, the lyrics are done very well. They are written very well and delivered very well. Um, and it really is an album that flows nicely from beginning to end. Um, like I said, I do have my gripes with it, and it's more because I'm not a person that is really heavily into symphonic metal. Nightwish is one of the few symphonic metal bands that I listen to. And this is probably the best album I've heard out of the catalog, and I've listened to quite a few since my friend Amy had got me into Nightwish. So, with that stated, this is a definite album that I will be listening to quite often. And For those of you who are subscribed to my channel, you know that at the end of the year I do a top 10 countdown of the best albums of the year according to Media Awareness, my channel. So you can stay tuned to see if Nightwish makes that cut. However, I hope you enjoyed this overview. Instrumentally, the album itself flows as a Nightwish album would. Perfect excellence, musicianship wise. Vocals are top notch, nothing to be surprised about there. And like I said, the lyrics are just amazing, very touching, very moving, and very intense. Also, the production goes without saying with Nightwish. It's always been good on every album, and this is no exception. Production on this album is solid from beginning to end, and you have a nice variation of elements, highs and lows, when they should peak, and there's a lot of diversity in the mix with that stated. So you got a really great album with Nightwish Yesterwynde. And I hope that this review was helpful to many of you. This album is available to stream on Spotify. It's available on CD, vinyl, I'm assuming as well. In addition to digital download, and whatever your choice is, whatever your format of choice that you prefer, you can get this album in that format, with the exception of 8-track, of course, because they haven't been made in decades. So I'm sorry for all of you 8-track fans out there, but I'm sure they are far and few between. This album, like I said, it is definitely worth having in your collection, especially if you're a Nightwish fan, and it is an album that I highly recommend. So, do yourself a favor, pick up the new Nightwish Yesterwynde, available wherever music is sold in your choice of formats, and it is an album of excellent performances, vocally, musically, lyrically, production-wise. It is a flawless venture from all aspects, from beginning to end. And yes, I have my own personal gripes, but they are minor in the grand scheme of things, and that's what we're looking at with this album, the grand scheme. With the singles themselves, I focus more on the little nuances, but in the grand scheme of the album itself, it is a masterful work of art, and I hope that you all enjoy it. This is Rob with Media Awareness. Once again, a reminder the fundraiser continues. Please do what you can, any and all help is welcome, and I will see you all again soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.